Hi, you're watching RNTV. This is Avi Avital, and I'm going to play a little piece by Johann Sebastian Bach, Prelude from Cello Suite No.1.
Well, now to the mandolin, and while popular in the Baroque era, unlike the violin or other more popular string instruments, the mandolin does not have much of a wide repertoire written for it. But that hasn't stopped young Israeli musician Avi Avital from becoming one of the young superstars of the classical music world. He is the first mandolin player to receive a Grammy nomination in the category Best Instrumental Soloist. Avi is currently in Australia to perform a series of concerts with the Brandenburg Orchestra, and he's with us this morning in our Sydney studios to play for us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Anne.
Tell us about mandolins. They were very popular, but suddenly they were overlooked and no one has written enough music for you.
That's true. I think that paradoxically, the reason that not a lot of music was written for it, was extremely popular. So it has become an amateur instrument rather than a serious concert instrument throughout the 18th and 19th century. And that's why like the big composers didn't consider it like a concert hall instrument and therefore did not write a lot of compositions to it.
So did they use it much at all?
Well, there are some little examples, some surprises there because, like, for example, not a lot of people know, but Beethoven wrote for little sonatas for a young mandolin player that he was in love with.
Who wrote this?
Beethoven.
Okay.
Yes, and Mozart used the mandolin in one of his operas, in Don Giovanni. But yeah, we were looking at Brahms and Wagner, of course. They didn't. They didn't
think it was such a good idea. Were they mistaken, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, I wish I lived in the time of Bach or Brahms.
What would you say to Mr. Brahms?
I would chase them until they wrote something for the mandolin, like I do right now.
Okay, so I'll be Mr. Brahms. Why would I bother writing this, Avi? This is ridiculous. I have a violin. It's strung the same, E, A, D, G. I'll just use a violin.
Exactly. This is the future. You see, Mr. Brahms, like in 2014, you have no imagination how huge is the mandolin going to be. No, I'm just kidding.
So you think you could have persuaded him? Now there are some examples of great mandolins. Are there great mandolin styles? Different sorts of mandolins?
There are indeed. Unlike other instruments, it's interesting. The mandolin has different shapes and different kind of sound aesthetics in different cultures. So we know in the States, for example, the mandolin is very much popular in bluegrass or Americana music, while in Brazil it's more popular in Brazilian folk music, in the choro. And it has a slightly different shape and slightly different sound, while the mandolins in Italy are the Baroque ones, used a lot in Neapolitan folklore music and of course, Baroque music.
And so what about in Israel? In the town you grew up in, had a mandolin orchestra?
Yeah, that's true. It was a youth orchestra, so kids in the local conservatory, like about 40 kids or 50 kids sometimes, playing together the mandolin. That was fantastic. It's not a tradition necessarily in Israel, but it was this teacher that I had, my first teacher, who immigrated from Russia, and he just started this mandolin orchestra.
It's in the folk tradition.
No, he always rearranged classical music. It was kind of an educational vehicle for us to be introduced to classical music in a fun way. So he would arrange any kind of classical music, from Mozart piano concerto we played with one of the teachers there to Bach orchestral suites and so on. So that's how I got introduced to classical music, through playing it.
What a wonderful story. Here we torture parents by having our children play recorders. I think the mandolin would be a better idea.
Right.
Now you're here to perform with the Brandenburg Orchestra. What would you like to play for us this morning?
I'll play a little folk song from Bulgaria. This is part of my new album, Between Words, that is all about the borderline between classical music and folk music. So this is a Bulgarian folk tune called Bucimis.
Bucimis, music by Avi Avital. Much. That was fantastic, Avi. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Such spirit there. From the album, I guess, Between Worlds, we heard Avi Avital. He'll be performing with the Brandenburg Orchestra. Lots of passion and energy there. We'll have concert details on our website, or you can head to the Brandenburg Orchestra's own site.